Goldman Sachs is a place where macroeconomic events are studied and analyzed, where transactions are conducted, where risks are measured, the kind of momentous things that show up in the front page of important newspapers.
Goldman has a long history of being creative and innovative to service clients' needs.
One of the things that we really pioneered was bringing financial mathematics to Wall Street. Historically, we held insights that we garnered from our own technology within our own four walls. As the world has changed, we're trying to share that more openly and transparently with clients. We're approaching brand new problems, building brand new businesses in spaces we haven't been in before. These are big moves for us. You have to have a certain level of agility because things change fast.
That's very important for us to be able to handle that demand as quickly as possible. Seconds, milliseconds all matter.
We are a wholesaler of risk. We need to be measuring, factoring, analyzing, and monitoring risk. And it consumes a lot of compute power.
How do we maximize the compute power? How do we execute things faster? This is super critical because we are a global business.
There's nothing more precious than our reputation, how safe clients feel in dealing with us, how we guard their information. It's absolutely imperative for us to be on the leading edge there and pick partners who we can really rely on in those domains. As we thought about scaling our own business and how much more intense that risk management activity could become in the world, Google was an obvious choice.
Google has a very good track record building large-scale services with security in mind.
Any platform like Google Cloud can allow us to kind of refactor our human capital and focus on solving client problems is really valuable for us.
You basically have all these building blocks already existing that Google provides you that helps you to build a product faster, it helps you evolve faster. So that is super exciting.
You know, one of the little-known things about Goldman Sachs is that 1 out of 4 people here at the firm is an engineer. We really think about it as conferring superpowers on our people. The ability to understand data faster, to express ideas faster, and to be engaged with clients. Google's capabilities are so extraordinary. The way that we factor compute cycles, the way that we express our technology, the proximity of that technology to our clients, their ability to access it directly, that's been transformed dramatically. Goldman Sachs prides itself on taking a very long-term approach to developing client relationships. I've been really struck at Google taking a very similar approach with us. That willingness to invest in the relationship between our firms is really differentiated. Google's been able to both meet our needs in the moment and yet also be a great thought partner about where this could go over time.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today at Google Cloud's HPC Days Digital Series. Today, we're excited to have Goldman Sachs with us to speak on a panel webinar. My name is Wyatt Gorman. I'm the High Performance Computing Solution Manager at Google Cloud. And today we have with us Bhavna, Stale, and Faisal to introduce themselves. So if you could all please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Bhavna Shishadri. I work as a Senior Product Manager for Core Engineering in Goldman Sachs. I am responsible for driving the roadmap for public cloud infrastructure as a service products. I also act as a liaison for our clients and engineering teams.
Hi, I'm Stolias. I'm also a senior cloud engineer in Core Engineering, Goldman Sachs. I focus mainly on engineering and operational issues around infrastructure as a service.
Hi, I'm Faisal Shamsi. I'm a managing director in Core Engineering within Goldman Sachs. I'm responsible for several of the firm's platform as a service offerings.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. So just a quick cover of our agenda. We had our intro. We're going to spend most of our time on a panel discussion and then a quick wrap up with some links that you can follow to learn more. So with that, let's jump right into it. So before we begin, Faisal, can you help me set the scene about the serverless compute landscape at Goldman Sachs and what the business problem was that you were trying to address?
Sure. So let me initially describe the serverless platform. So effectively, there is a demand in the firm for being able to do vast amount of computation, and I'll go into the specific reasons for that in a second. But what the serverless compute platform does is it allows you to use two abstractions, job scheduling, so the invocation of a process on a machine, and function as a service, like a Lambda type ability to interact with the compute pool that we have. So effectively, our clients can create millions of jobs or process executions, or requests hundreds of millions of kind of function as a service type calculations, and not worry where the compute is or where the compute is coming from, or be allocated specific hardware. It just gets handled for them in the background. Now, the primary use case for this right now, but by no means the only use case, is risk and pricing. So obviously the firm is very active in multiple different trading businesses. It's responsible for executing transactions for many different types of financial product. And then for all of these flows and all these positions, we need to continuously doing risk and pricing. Now, some of that to enable the business on a minute by minute or second by second basis to understand what their risk positions are, and that's effectively what we do for global markets across interest rate products and FX and others. And also we have a firm-wide risk function, which is constantly calculating the entire risk profile for the firm, making sure we're meeting our regulator obligations and things of that nature. So over the last several years, the demand for risk and pricing from both of these large internal clients has vastly increased. So it's been challenging to meet the demand and the time to market through traditional kind of on-premise methods. So we had to try something else.
And you just called out one of the largest and most common problems in many large organizations. That is managing infrastructure as your business scales. Can you share a little bit about how Goldman Sachs solved that problem for themselves?
Sure. So as you might expect, we turn to the cloud. And why would we turn to the cloud? I mean, there are lots of good reasons. There's a vast amount of compute liquidity. There is super high resiliency. There are great security methods and procedures you can adopt to make sure that your data is safe and protected. And there's a really interesting innovation curve in a variety of different methods, even if we just talk about compute. And by that I mean, obviously there are many different compute types available from the cloud providers in terms of hardware, memory, GPUs, things of that nature. But also that's really interesting in terms of the models that you can use to acquire the compute, right? Whether you take something for 2 years, or 6 hours via on demand, or if you can live with lower SLAs but are happy to reap the rewards of them being more inexpensive, you could use something like preemptible on GCP. So all this coming together has helped us solve the kind of demand and compute liquidity problem that we had, and enabled us to co-opt hundreds of thousands of cores of GCP compute.
Wonderful. So obviously Google Cloud was one of the chosen platforms, hence why we're hosting this panel with you today. Can you share a little bit about what worked well with Google Cloud? And maybe Ståle, I'll point that direction towards you.
Yeah, I think the main benefit with Google Cloud was threefold. The biggest one being the live migration. So the abstracting the hypervisor maintenance away from us gave us a huge operational win. So any patching, rebooting, or any other issues with hypervisors, the instances on the hypervisors is live migrated to another hypervisor. For us, that means zero operational downtime, and having clients in multiple regions, that is a big win. Even when there's hypervisor failures, the live migration will still kick in, but most likely will end up in a reboot. For us, that's not a big issue because our workloads will automatically start again when the host is booted up. The second big win we had was around the VPC and the Direct Connect setup within Google. It's very much geared around being able to use multiple regions. So for us, that's a big win right out of the gate, where we can have operational resilience between two different regions, which also reduces blast radius if there's any issues. The third benefit is disk reliability and performance. So all in all, we're seeing relatively good performance on our workloads in Google, as well as and no real operational reliability issue when it comes to disk. And again, that's a big win for us, being the amount of workloads we're running.
And were there any challenges in this effort?
Well, what we realized after running the plant for a while was that we put all our compute into the same account, and in the back end, GCP automatically distribute our instances across their hardware plant. Being that about 5% of our instances require state, we found that there was a chance that these instances might be co-located in the same cabinet. So the solution for this was very easy. All we had to do was move the 5% state instances into a different account, and that would automatically spread the instances across the hardware plant.
So Bhavna, can you tell us a little bit about the outcome from your client's perspective? What was their reactions, and how did they see the migration?
Sure, I'll be happy to. I think the biggest attraction for our clients has been the quick access to a large volume of compute. I can give an example. A few months ago, we were suddenly approached by our clients for this high volume capacity. This was for onboarding pricing risk calculation clients. And we were able to do it almost immediately because of public cloud. Had it been an on prem scenario, it would have been really challenging to satisfy these unplanned capacity requests. So, this ability to quickly onboard our clients has been a differentiating factor with public cloud. That's very attractive. There's another component which is very attractive to our clients, which is the availability of different compute models at different price ranges. Now, if our clients have workloads that are running very frequently on a known volume of compute, then they choose to go for committed compute capacity. If there are burst volume scenarios with the workloads, then they choose preemptible compute because that proves to be more efficient for burst volume scenarios. And a lot of times we have also seen clients mix and match the different compute models to get the highest amount of efficiency. The success story with mixing and matching has triggered a lot of interest from other client groups also. The opportunity to get the highest efficiency with the right compute model is very attractive.
Wonderful. Um, Faisal, can you tell us a little bit about what Goldman Sachs' strategy around cloud computing might look like going forward?
Sure. Look, I mean, on a general firm-wide basis, the firm is incredibly committed to our cloud transformation and journey, and there's this huge investment going into that space, and um, lots of thought processes about what are the happy paths and how we can, get our engineers to be able to leverage cloud technologies in a very seamless way. And then more specifically about the serverless platform, we're still on our way. We're still on a journey. We have migrated a large amount of our capacity and workload into the cloud. We want to complete that journey over the course of the next kind of a couple of years, and then build upon that. So the efforts so far for this platform has largely been focused in the Americas. We'd like to open up similar opportunities across Asia Pacific and Europe, and obviously we can do that with GCP having more or less data centers wherever we have data centers. And obviously we have local businesses in those regions which would want to tap compute with a lower latency as opposed to hopping over across to New York. And then beyond that, we'd like to continue the exciting partnership we've had. Stala mentioned around the work done with the keys and the privacy and the security, and working with GCP on new and interesting types of compute offerings is really exciting, and having our feedback received and then taken into the product is a great partnership. Beyond that, as we get to 100% public cloud with this platform, we want to start lighting up more and more native services for the application workloads that exist within the platform, to allow them to take advantage of the GCP object store or Spanner or whatever the case might be. And then I think we'll get another level up, another kind of force multiplier in what the platform based on cloud providers like GCP can offer to our clients. So super excited about it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Faisal. And maybe, Bhavna, we could wrap up with you. How do you see cloud computing changing the ways that your clients run their software and infrastructure in the future?
Sure. I think from a client perspective, it is going to be a continuous education on cloud. We need to understand what are their new use cases wherein we can bring in public cloud as a differentiating factor. We need to continuously challenge ourselves to find more innovative solutions. This could include using preemptible compute for the new use cases or other flavors of compute that becomes available, or we could also think of integrating our existing compute fleet with object based storage solutions. So there are multiple possibilities, and all of these seem to be super exciting to us.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank my panelists from Goldman Sachs today and say I look forward to another HPC Day digital series with you soon. Thanks, everyone.